So every year I try a few new different types of plants, and I've been wanting to try Ranunculus for a very long time. My daughter had some in her wedding last September, and I brought some home from the reception, and the blooms just lasted so long. They were so pretty. Anyway, so I was at Walmart and I saw in the bulbs that they had this 10 bulbs. They're not bulbs, they're actually corms, but they had 10 for $3.46. So I thought, well, this will be a good practice run for me. And then if I really like them, I can order them. So I have started soaking my ranunculus. I only have 10 little corms. They're very tiny. And this is my first hour in slightly lukewarm water. And every hour for 4 hours, I will change the water and we'll see what they look like. They've only been in the water for about 1 minute, so I took one out just to show you that they are very small and they are very dry. So when we check on them in an hour, we'll do an update. This is how they look after their first soak for 1 hour. I cleaned out the container, put in new room temperature water, and put them in again. You can see they're getting a little plumpy. They are plumping up a little. Some of them, yeah. That's a little thin, and I did lose a little piece over there. But anyway, I think they're doing pretty good. And I will do 2 more soaks for an hour. You rinse the water in between each one. Sometimes they say they also like aeration, like bubbling water, if you want to have a tiny drip going to change the water. But Danielle at North Lawn Flower Farm says that as long as you rinse them every hour 4 times, they should be good to go. So we'll check on them in an hour. Okay, this is the update after they've had their second soaking, the corms of the ranunculus. The light has changed so you can see a little better, hopefully. They're continuing to swell up, looking pretty good. And after this, we'll do 1 more soak. This will be the 3rd one for 1 more hour. Update, they just finished their 2nd hour soak. I changed the water again, room temperature water, and put them in for another hour. And then after this, we'll do 1 more. So as you can see, they're starting to get a little more plump. I guess that's the word of the day, plump. This is how they look after their 4th and final soak. You can see the little bubbles in the water. I'm about to rinse them off. They all look pretty good. I moved them in the sun just so they would show up on camera, but I did not leave them in the sun to soak. This tiny one here is the only one that, I don't know. If you look at it though, it does still look swollen and plumped up compared to what it looked like when it first started. It could just be because this is a variety of colors, so maybe there are just different sizes and shapes for the different colors. So I'm going to pot them up soon and I'll show you that process. Here we have our little corms from the ranunculus. There are 10 of them. I'm going to plant all of them, even though maybe one looks questionable. They've soaked 4 hours total, 1 hour each, with a change of water in between, room temperature water. And I have the soil here. It's only about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. That's all we're supposed to need. And then some soil to cover it, some water to sprinkle. I already did moisten the soil. Not very wet, they say, just enough. And if you squeeze it and water comes out, that's too much. But from what I've seen, you just take the little corms, whoops, excuse me, and you put the little fingers down and you just kind of nestle them in there. I guess I could make a little room, huh? Because and they won't be here long, so they say they don't really need much spacing, but I have this whole bucket for only 10 corms, so that'll be okay. Let's see. Sometimes do I ever sound breathless or like I'm wheezy? I do have asthma, and I do notice that I kind of take a inner breath and you hear a little wheeze, but that's how it is when you have asthma. So let's see. I still have 2 more Probably should have made more space over here. Here's a little one. And there is one tiny one, so maybe I'll just stick that over here. Okay. So they're all in there. Just nestled. And I do believe you fully cover them, maybe lightly, but they do cover them. Supposedly I do need darkness. So when I put them down in the basement, it's supposed to be 50 degrees-ish. And we're actually warming up in the Northeast here in Rhode Island. And outside is like high 60s today. It's really nice and warm. But the basement is about 52 still, so that's good. So you can see that I covered everything up. I might just pat it lightly. And when I put it downstairs, I will put probably like a cardboard covering on the top so it still has air, but it's dark. And I'm going to sprinkle it a little bit even though the bottom soil is dampened. Not too much though. I guess rot can be a thing with them. So they also said if you have a moist basement that there can be a problem sometimes with rotting. So 2 weeks downstairs, but you're supposed to check on it. Most likely it won't need water, but you might be able to sprinkle it here and there a little bit. And so that's it. I can update you in 2 weeks to see how the 10 corms are doing. And again, they were only $3.42 at Walmart. So as always, it's an experiment. And we'll see how they do. Thanks for watching.